from you about selecting people for roles. Then we'll leap into role improvement feedback. Just a brief overview in a skit. Then we're going to leap into consenting to circle members, which I want to make sure we do it when you can be here, because I know that's really important to you. If you have to leave early, we'll do it sooner, just so we can make sure you get it.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you have to leave early, Joan?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Well, we'll get to all of this stuff. But I wanted...
I may have to leave at 5.
Okay. Well, we'll have your friends and colleagues share about logbooks for roles of the circle and so on. And you've got handouts. Okay. All right. The thing I wanted to share is my little Taoist picture here. The goodwill that occurs when we do this happens when we have the term length, the task requirements, and desired qualities listed on a flip chart or on the whiteboard, and we make it clear, we make it explicit, we do it every single time we do that election for that role, and we do not leave it out. And we get conflict. See those people? When we leave it out. And I have seen this over and over and over. So I want to emphasize how important it is. Can you see why?
Absolutely.
Why is that, Joan?
Well, if you don't say what the person's supposed to be like or how long they should do it or what the tasks are, how could you possibly choose well? And so if you've chosen wrongly, there will be conflict.
I agree. And we have to reinforce, because everything we do in sociocracy is an educable moment. It's helping us learn it again and then remember it again and remember it some more. That there are specific tasks and specific requirements. And that's why we nominate, that's why the facilitator proposes, that's why we object or not, and that's how we resolve objections. That's so important. And have you ever seen a group that didn't do it? Sometimes it can get touchy.
And in the Hobbit skit, when Gandalf was getting all of the nominations, it didn't relate to the tasks or the requirements as very specifically. But once Frodo,
Gandalf's the one that said it should be Frodo because he has a pure heart.
No, somebody started saying that before. Sam Gamgee said he has a pure heart, and he started making a list. He started relating to the requirements, and then everybody else sort of went, "Oh yeah." So I think what happens if you aren't specific and clear and have it up there, is people sort of go, "Oh yeah, Don's a great guy, and so that's why I want him."
Yeah, and
so we must have those qualities.
And that's human nature.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done all along in community and co-housing. We revert to what we used to do. So let me make a point that's like one of those points that we have to make. Sociocracy needs to be reinforced, and also repeated, and furthermore reinforced. Why? Because of governance drift. Are you familiar with that concept?
Yep.
Governance
with that
drift.
experience.
Yeah, governance drift. That's where we drift along and float away towards what we did before. Why? Because we're not reinforcing it, we're not repeating it. So when we do things, it's an educable moment that lays down a track of our neurological neurons, once again, a neural pathway, I think they would say. If we were Commander Data of the Starship Enterprise, we would say, yes, it is a new pathway in my neural net. And we'd go, yeah, Data. Too bad that you don't have empathy, but we know you want some. Okay, but the point is, we don't want no damn governance drift. So we need to help make, every time we do any one of these, an educable moment. That's where we have the fabulous posters, which you're going to get. That's where we have training materials. That's where we have an ongoing implementation circle. Does the implementation circle one day retire? Maybe not. Maybe what it continues to do is to help people learn and provides help when they need it. Answers questions when they have it. Helps people know that, oops, you need to do role improvement feedback because you haven't been doing it. Let us help you with it. Here's the poster. We'll just come over and help you.
Trains new people.
And trains new people. Oh my God, oh my God. Have we talked about communities where, okay, I'm going to tell you the story of a community. Shall remain nameless, of course.
Starts with an E and ends with an N?
No, not this time. Ha smart ass. This community had John Buck himself train them when they were just forming about how to. Thank you. Is it ticking?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a good mic. Thank you. I don't know even why it's on. We're not in a break. Let me turn the thing off. All right, already.
Done.
Okay. All right. John Buck himself taught the group how to do sociocracy in a brief workshop, 2 days, and asked the group if they would do what was reasonable in businesses at that time, which is to have him be a consultant to come back multiple times. And to some degree he did, but mostly they didn't want a consultant because they were needing to pay for like architects and contractors, and you know the drill, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they never taught any new members.
Oh.
Multiple years later, they have 4 people from the original group who took their original workshop. And all of the rest of the new people and anyone who came in as a renter never had any training. And they might have had this idea, various of them, a decreasing number because there was a decreasing number of founders who lived there. Now, some of the founders didn't leave because they left, they just didn't live there anymore and they rented out their unit. That happens, you probably have that happen here. And so they had an increasing number of people who didn't know anything about it. Some of them may have made the presumption, oh, it's like throwing the baby in the bathwater. They just go to the meeting, they'll pick it up. Holy mackerel, no, that does not happen with something like this. The people who joined either knew majority rule voting, or they knew top-down autocratic decision-making by the boss of the company because that's what the person's background was, or they knew, brace yourself, consensus decision-making from the other groups they'd been in. And they would interpret what they would see in meetings like it was consensus. So they began to drift right towards consensus, and they began to have what I call sociocracy wars. Quote, it says on page such or other of the book, We the People, that da-da-da-da-da. But it says on this page over here, multiple pages later, da-da-da-da-da, which is exactly the opposite. And by the way, it does. And so we say it should be like that because it says so in the book. Well, we say it should be like that because it says so in the book later, so that means the later one is the more true than the first one. So one of them calls me up and says, well, Diana, which is it? And I said, it's both. They're options, but let me ask John. John sends me an email and says, yeah, it's both. I just meant to imply it's an option. John, why didn't you say so? Well, that's why the book needs editing. Okay, thank you. So that, because it does, you know. So I told him, this is what it is, and this is what John says. And I cited his email. You'd think that would be convincing, wouldn't you? But some of these people have never heard of John, never read the book. Why? They were new. They never had any training. And what they said is, well, that's just his opinion.
That's what?
That's just his opinion.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So that group is fraught with difficulties regarding sociocracy and hardly uses it, but uses some little pieces of partway, semi, sort of. Is this painful to even contemplate? Ouch, ouch.
Yeah.
And very few people ever had the original training. Once upon a time, a long time ago, they had a person who had an awful lot to do and say about what they were doing because they were in a role that had a lot of decision making or a lot of leadership. Never studied sociocracy. And I said, how about if I do some free trainings on Skype over a series of weeks to help this person learn? I said it directly to the person and to some of the others. And he said, no, there's no need. I'm too busy, and besides, I already know it.
Yeah, that sounds true too.
Mm-hmm. So you can see what can happen. Hey, do you think we should have a little more light in here? I'm starting to feel a little like that. Thank you. If somebody can make it become brighter.
Yeah.
There you go.
Too much?
No. Is it too much for you all?
No, let's
Okay.
turn off the ones that go on the wall.
Yeah.
Sure, okay.
Like wasted electricity.
Turn this off?
That's everybody.
No,
No, it's
that
okay.
one's okay. Gail did took care of it.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. Any other comments or questions about selecting people for roles? What did you learn when you didn't do this exercise yet?
Well, we did a little, actually, we talked among ourselves about what we learned. One of the things that we realized is that I'm not sure that we do the, when we were doing the XCOM, I don't think we knew the term length, but I don't think we made that as clear as we could have. So,
Would you be willing to make it more clear in the future?
yes, we absolutely will.
Good.
Now, when we chose the XCOM, we chose everybody at once.
Well,
That's because we only had 6 nominations for 6.
That-
Well, we had like three or four slots, and
that
it worked. It worked
that can
really
work-
well. But
that can work just fine.
okay.
So it seems reasonable, doesn't it? Once again, sociocracy folks don't have anything to say about it one way or the other, like do it or don't do it. But you know what you do, you know what you do. You be responsive in the moment, and you get consent.
We were talking in our group about that too, because the election is coming up. So we said maybe we should think about qualifications and see who's leaving and who we need to replace.
Yes, but we decided that we did not want to actively go out and get people because it causes problems, sets up expectations.
No, I think we were thinking, well, let's try this and write down the
Yeah,
the tasks.
yeah.
For instance, I
But
will
not
need,
approach anybody ahead of time.
no.
Okay.
I will need somebody to help with the treasurer. I need a treasurer's assistant, and that person needs to have certain skills. So I would want to put some skills on there or qualities.
Oh, yes, put them on and make sure the
Yeah.
skills are on there, yes,
Yeah.
okay.
No, I'm never going to pre-select anybody. I never liked that idea anyway.
Let me ask you if it's legitimate for someone to announce ahead of time on email to everyone in the group that they're interested in a role that's coming up.
What,
What do
what,
Well,
I
what?
can't imagine it happening. But I don't think it is appropriate if it were to happen.
oh, is that
Please-
what you're asking? Is it appropriate?
Please say more, Clara, about why you think it wouldn't be appropriate for a person to say, hey, I know that the XCOM is about to select 3 new slots of new XCOM members to replace those who are leaving, and I'm interested in that role, and I put it on email and you all get it.
Was, as you used as an example before, it would squelch perhaps other people
That's right, exactly. That's
Equivalence.
volunteering for it.
volunteering for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Do I know of a community where that happened? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Starts with an E and ends with an N.
Ha ha ha. There's that smartass again. My lips are sealed. Okay. Let us do some exercises. We have 2. These exercises are not real things, but it's going to seem like it. One of them is to choose a person to lead us in a song when we close the workshop. But there's going to be several small groups, so we're not choosing 3 people. We're not really doing it. It's just a simulation, but it seems kind of real because we really do have a workshop. The other one, on the other side, is to choose somebody to do energizing exercises for when we get bored or annoyed or we're falling asleep, to lead us in rousing football cheers or whatever it is. So these are just simple exercises to help you get a sense of selecting someone. What I'd like to do is ask that you get into groups of either 4 and 5 or 3, 3 and 3, but you decide what you'd rather, okay? And would the person who facilitates please be a new person, that is to say, a person who hasn't facilitated before. But if everyone in your group has facilitated before, that's fine, just have somebody do it, okay?
It's so hard.
So let's take about 7 minutes for the first one, and I'll check in with
Did you say there's a second one in the back?
Yeah, there's 2 on. Oh, what happened? Does anybody have a blank backside?
Yes.
Yes.
3 people do?
I think everybody
Looks like
was.
There are quite a few.
What about the ones on
Okay.
the bottom?
Anka, do you,
Oh, and
No,
let's
they have
check
two sides.
the very end and see if that's...
tell you what,
Why don't we
Probably
use
goes
the
with
ones
that.
with the sides, with the back sides correct?
Here, just hand me back those that don't work, and I'll tell myself to
these
zero
are
better in the future.
Okay, these are the singles.
Okay?
These are good.
So if there's not enough, please just share with the person next to you. I don't know what happened.
Okay, now.
Okay,
We're all set.
We're good now.
We have enough.
Okay. Please go ahead and get in groups to 4 and 5, or maybe 3 and 3. You decide what you might
Okay, these are
prefer.
good.
They're good? Okay. Everybody got one?
Okay, 4 of us.
Okay, so here we are. I will not appear before here. Okay, exercise number 1.
Okay, we're going to select a person for a role.
Who has not been a
Description of
facilitator
role.
before? We've all been facilitators.
We do. And we're not. We need a facilitator. She was suggesting that it be somebody who hasn't
Well,
facilitated.
Who hasn't
so far.
facilitated yet? I have.
No,
I have.
just being a smart
Are you
ass.
facilitated?
Caused me a lot of anxiety too after we do it.
Blank.
Oh, some pain relief.
I don't think so.
The term is until the close of this workshop on Monday afternoon.
Uh-oh, are we choosing
So
somebody to actually
we
do
need to
that?
get him.
Is this fantasy? Is this real? We have to speak
I
Russian?
can get you the instructions. Okay.
Everybody, can you hear me? In your handout booklet, you have a page that has all of these things on it, the one-page handout. I just want you to know so you can refer to it. Do you know, Linda, do you have the page?
Right, I'm getting it for our facilitator.
Thank you so much. Would you say out
I
loud
got
what
it
the page
here.
number is? Page
29.
29, everybody. I want you to be able to utilize that, please.
29.
Thank you.
Got it.
Okay, so
Speak Russian.
we're looking for somebody to help with a song that will close our workshop
I
today.
nominate Chris to
And
I can sing.
I'm not sure if I'm supposed to actually state the, this,
Ask
Like-
Melissa to read it.
You can state it or you can ask somebody to read it.
okay, Clara, would you read the description of the role, please?
Okay, our domain is learning soapgraphs. Our aim is to understand what soapgraphs is and how it can benefit groups. And it's 7 main parts.
All right.
Practice it enough.
Excuse me, let me interrupt you. I think what I
So
was wanting
what
you to read
on
was the
earth
description
does
of
this
the
role have to do
Oh,
with
description,
the
okay.
names of the domain?
To choose representatives during representatives from other small groups meeting right now. To together choose a focus song for a workshop and help lead us all in singing that song and close the workshop. Turn the role, language, and role, yeah, until the close of this workshop.
And then we'll go around.
Responsibilities, to meet during breaks or whenever possible toward the end of the workshop with other tasks from the other small groups.
Responsibilities and roles.
Help
To meet during
choose
the
a song
breaks or
which
when
will
possible before the end of
sing at
the
the end of the closing.
other representatives for this task.
Tell us
From the
at
other
the
small
closing each
groups
song
now.
now.
Help choose a song representative to sing at the closing of the workshop. Tell us at the closing of what song to sing.
To
help determine which
To
representative
know
or several
what is in
representatives will
songs
start
that
off the
you
song.
think most workshop participants will probably already know.
Qualifications for performing responsibilities, 1, to
Like
speak
sing
Russian,
enthusiasm.
2, to know widely known songs. I think most workshop participants.
So does anybody have any questions
know.
about
And the
the
design
role or its
characteristics of the role.
characteristics?
Which are currently optional.
So,
Firstly,
might
would
we,
you like to sing?
Does
And
anybody,
secondly, enthusiasm.
having heard this from Clara and
So,
read it,
I volunteer.
is this a good time
so
to
we're not
nominate
taking
people
volunteers,
in our group?
thank you, Gail.
Or
So,
even without her, I guess.
the process.
I was going to do it, but since she's volunteered, I'm not going to.
Well, that's good. So we're just going to, I'm just going to remind you of the process that we're going to submit
Yes, I think
nominations
this is a good time to do it and
Share
probably we should
versions,
put someone from
invite
the group.
changes,
So,
and
I don't
have
think
a
we should
background.
sing.
And
But
so,
who's
yeah,
covered
I'd like you all to share up a
I
paper,
would like to nominate Linda to help us come up
write
with
down who
Can I ask a
nominate.
question here about the process? Is there any hard and fast rule about first.
Put our name on it?
so-
Yeah, I
solicit
first, so I get,
nominations.
whatever you know.
And then we'll share the reasons, or can it be a jump, or whatever the word is. Can you piggyback the reasons at the same time that you're?
No, we're doing first the nominations.
time.
Yeah, and
Just
then
names.
asking because it's like
Okay, here you go.
about following the directions.
Yeah, yeah.
It's basically, we should all be writing it down if we're in the same room. So, this is a paper with names. Yeah. Do you want, I have
Okay.
paper.
I know you have one. She said Russian.
I'll just grab a piece of paper.
Oh, that's good. So that's good. So I'm trying to figure this out here.
So,
And so, again, you do not give the reasons.
On the nomination, you say your name and your name. I nominate.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You go on to that.
Here, I have a piece of paper for you, John.
I have a question. Does anybody here speak Russian?
Did you nominate
I
yourself?
was,
Can I not include you in the
yeah,
nomination?
you can nominate.
I wasn't, I thought that's what happened.
I'm part of the group. I'm not.
Speak Russian?
I'm very enthusiastic.
I'm imagining I do.
Okay.
Optional.
You speak Russian?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Okay.
Did I
And Charlotte.
interrupt somebody and say nominated somebody?
Oh,
Well, I think you were, as the facilitator,
Looking for a process.
yeah, it would actually, it was helpful for you to
Although
interrupt
he
at that point,
doesn't
because you
know
could
many
say, well, I'd like
songs,
you to
he's very
write
enthusiastic.
the nomination
Thank you
down.
very much. And then we have.
So Linda, am I understanding correctly that you're writing everybody?
no, I nominated Gail because she can be all responsible.
are writing
She can
individual
fake Russian
names.
really well.
Great, and you're gonna keep your
And
mouth open?
I know that, I mean, I hear her singing all the
John
time.
nominates.
We're nominating.
Late at night, you hear
Reasons why.
her voice
You don't
coming
have
out
to
of
write the
her.
reasons on the paper,
It's just-
just I nominate and who.